Regarding internet supply, yes, they lower costs. There is an increased responsiveness, a reduction of the cycle or order delivery time, and it lowers capital investment costs. Yes. All of them, yes. But at the same time, as the pandemic has shown very clearly, there are factors that are beyond the control of the suppliers from afar, namely the logistics of transportation between the supplier and your company. In those cases, you might be getting a bad deal. Some terms that you should know. B2B, what does that mean? It means business to business. Both of the companies to the transaction are companies. B2C, business to consumer. The buyer is an end consumer. C2C, that is consumer to consumer. Transactions between customers, for example, eBay. C2B, consumer to business. Usually when individuals sell services or goods to companies, for example, individual consultants. C2G, consumer to government. That is when the client communicates or interacts with the government. For example, when they pay taxes. G2C, government to consumer. When the government interacts with the consumer. For example, when they issue regulations that you must comply with. G2B, government to business. Public tenders are an example of this. And B2G, that is business to government, when we submit a proposal to a government entity. Now, it is true that regarding e-commerce safety, there have been huge losses of information. You can lose some money owing to fraud or whatever. However, the profits are so great that it's almost impossible not to join this modality. A company that doesn't work on e-commerce, for example, might be selling 1,000 or a 10,000 part of what it can sell through e-commerce. So, what are the features of e-commerce that allows us to sell so much and increase profits in a huge manner? First, it reduces transaction costs. Second, it pairs buyers and sellers. It reduces the barriers to entry. So, in that sense, it increases competition and it gets us closer to a perfect market where we can compete almost equally. Somebody said here that a small company in a third world country with a website is a transnational. They are not far from the truth. Where does it all affect the operations management function would be the next question. Well, regarding product design, it brings the customer closer to the producer. Regarding procurement and contractor, you have a store that is open 24 hours a day and which anybody can get in. In bargaining power, by increasing the information available, parties are in better negotiation position. And in inventories, for example, you know where your purchases or products are and when the intervention of the parties is required. For example, FedEx. If you buy or send something, you can have a tracking number and you can check out your package wherever it's moving. So, just to wrap up this video, what are the key points that we have seen? Outsourcing which is the act of sending some activities to a third party, some of the growth reasons for outsourcing, some of the criteria for outsourcing and backsourcing. Remember that it always revolves around the critical success factors. Then we have internet supplying, some of the terms that we should know: business to business, consumer to consumer, all that kind of stuff, all regarding safety and some features and how it affects our operations management function. As always, I thank you for your attention, and we will be seeing each other on our next video of this series. Goodbye.